What is going on, everybody? It's Skills here, and today we are going to be talking about Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Yes, Ghost Recon Breakpoint, and 10 things you should know before diving into this game. Now, hopefully these tips and tricks will help you become a better Ghost Recon player, and not only that, become less frustrated with the game and know a little bit more about it before diving in. So the first thing we're going to be talking about is intel. What is intel good for, and where can you find intel? So intel is great for finding locations for new weapons, new blueprints, progressing in a story, and even bivouacs. So what we're gonna do is, our first location where we can find intel from is from people. So civilians and enemies will give you intel. Well, the civilians are a little bit easier to talk to. You don't even have to do nothing, you just have to walk up to them and hit talk.
That's all I remember.
Now, enemies, you will have to detain them. So there's a difference between the two. So when you are trying to gather that intel, make sure you know if it's an enemy or if it's a civilian that you're going to be interrogating. Now, a lot of the civilians that you gather intel from will give you an option, and sometimes they give you 3 different options, from attachments to weapons to bivouacs, and then you can pick which option you want. It will be marked on your map, so once you find the exact location, you will be rewarded with that weapon attachment. The second tip we're going to be talking about is scale credits. You can see I have almost 66,000 scale credits. Now, what is it good for? Well, scale credits are great for buying weapons at the Irwan shop. Yes, this is in-game currency that you get just from farming around. Now, the first way you can acquire scale credits is by eliminating enemies. Now, certain enemies will end up dropping you some scale credits. The second way I found out of getting credits, which I think is the best way of getting scale credits, is through military loot boxes guarded by sentinel soldiers or the wolves, and those tend to drop you the bigger chunks. As you see right here, I got 2,500 scale credits from one military crate. The third way you can get scale credits is by selling items to Maria at the Irwan shop, and just selling one item can net you 250 scale credits. Now, each item you have will sell at different levels, so you just have to pay attention to what you're selling and how much she plans on giving you. Now, once you do have enough scale credits, head over to the shop, and she has a ton of items for you to purchase, from gear to weapons to blueprints to vehicles to mods. Everything you could think of, she can sell you for scale credits. The next tip I'm going to give you is on the skill tree. So the third tip of the day is going to be talking about the skill tree, and we're just going to go over a couple things that I recommend you doing right off the bat. So when you select your class, remember there are 4 classes you can select from: Sharpshooter, Panther, Assault, and Field Medic. Now, it's 1 skill point to unlock each class, and you can swap between the 2. So don't think if you select one class and you don't like it, you can't select another one. Now, the first 2 things I would recommend you unlocking is the parachute. The parachute is key because a lot of times you're on a helicopter and the area you need to go to is a hot zone. So what you're going to want to do is parachute in and just let your helicopter just disappear. And that's what I would recommend. Number 2 is always XP, experience upgrade. This will help you level up a lot faster and get those skill points, because every time you get a skill point, you have a better chance at unlocking more perks, more abilities on this skill tree. The third thing I would recommend is the perks. You always want to make sure you get these perks unlocked, because these perks will give you the ability to be a stronger player in Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Now, if you go to your backpack, right where your loadout is, at the top hand corner, right where it has your gear score level, mine's at 105, right here, you can select the perks that you want. So if you have more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 perks unlocked, well, then you can select up to 3 if you have all 3 perks unlocked right here. Now, one thing to keep in mind is when you are looking for a perk on your skill tree, at the top left hand corner above the name of it will say perk. That will let you know that you can use that on your current loadouts. The next 2 things I would recommend doing is getting Mark 1 and Mark 2 unlocked. This will help you upgrade your weapons, giving you everything from accuracy to reload speed to damage. When you do select your weapon, you just have to open it up in the gunsmith. So on PC you would type G, and on console I forget what it is, but right under the weapon you have Mark 1, and then it shows you if it gives you damage, range, accuracy, reload speed. Now, once you unlock all 8 of Mark 1 and you have that Mark 2 badge unlocked on your skill tree, well, then you can continue to upgrade the weapon and make it that much stronger. Your skill tree is a great place for you to unlock some really good abilities and perks for your Ghost. The fourth tip I'm going to give you is going to be on the bivouac, and this is going to be a little trick that I do to get me from point A to point B a lot faster. So some of you might not know that when you do deploy your bivouac, you can call a vehicle. Yes. And all of us, every single ghost in Ghost Recon Breakpoint was given a helicopter at launch. All you have to do is select garage, and then once you go to the garage, the helicopter is right there. But don't think that's the only thing you can summon. You can summon every single vehicle that you currently own. Most of you will probably have a car in there and a motorcycle. Now, once you select the helicopter, it will appear in the garage tab, and then you just need to hit break camp, leave right now. As soon as you break camp, your helicopter will be waiting for you, and it should be in a general vicinity of you. If you can't find it, you can always open up your map and look on your map for it. But most of the time, it will be within walking distance, right in front of you, and every vehicle spawns in the same location at every bivouac. So if you go to the same bivouac multiple times, that helicopter will spawn in that same location every time you go there. Now on your map, bivouacs will be marked with the same symbol on every single bivouac. So as long as you look at this symbol right here and you look throughout your map, you will find these. You can discover these by just flying low over your map, or through intel. When it says discover this bivouac, it will unlock a bivouac for you. The fifth tip I'm going to be giving you guys is on gear, and always equip that higher level gear. You can get gear from a lot of different places, from military crates, from loot drops. They will drop throughout the map, and when that higher level piece does drop, make sure you equip it, because the higher the gear score, the better chances that the next item that drops will be higher than what you currently have. And that's what we want, right? We want to continue to increase that gear score as quick as possible, so that way we can get the max gear score when available. The sixth tip I'm going to give you is on objectives. So if we go to the objectives board in our main menu, you will have an area that shows you where your attachments are and where the weapons are. So anything that you have discovered throughout the map with intel will be here. And that's what's great about it. Those items will be blue if they're attachments. Now, if you've already got them, they'll be grayed out, and that means, okay, you know what? I've already found these. I currently have 3 I have not found. The same thing goes for blueprints. Well, blueprints aren't going to show the weapon. It just shows like a blueprint. Underneath it, you guys see the ones that I have unlocked. So I have a couple that I can go get. Now, all of these are found through intel, and I've already told you guys how you can get intel. But once you find the intel on that weapon, all you have to do is pin this item, and it will pop up on your map. So once you find an attachment or weapon that you want, you can pin it and then go to your big map, and that is where you can locate that current attachment or that current weapon. That gets me into my seventh tip. You know you have an interface on the top left-hand corner. Well, you can pin up to 3 objectives in that area. If you go to your objectives board and you go all the way down to where your missions are, or just like I showed you before with the blueprints, you can pin these. So say for instance, I have a mission that I want to complete, right? Say one of these missions right here. So I can click on this mission, and then I can scroll down and select pin. Currently, I have a faction mission above, and then underneath it, this is where I can select my story mission if I want to. So now, once I back out of this screen, on my interface, I have 2 missions, well, 2 objectives that I can go after. And then if I go to my big boy map and I scroll all the way around, we can look around, and there we go. The mission is pinned right there. Not only that, if we scroll down a little bit more, we can see the other mission. So you just have to look. The map is huge, so just make sure that you look around, and you should find that pinpoint right there. So we have 2 missions pinpoint, 1 faction mission and 1 story mission pinpoint on the map. And you can do this for blueprints and weapon attachments. Now remember, if you don't want guided mode, you can always turn this off in the options, and that will just give you a map with no pinpoints. So you have to go off the clues that are on your interface. So if you go to the left-hand side, I have 3 clues for my faction mission and 2 clues for my story mission. But on the map, there are no pinpoints. So if you do want to go a little bit more extreme, you can turn off guided mode at any time. Now this is in the settings, so it's going to be on the far right-hand corner. Hit guided mode if you want it, and the points will be back on your map. The 8th tip we're going to be getting into is weapons. And dismantling weapons will give you weapon parts that will allow you to upgrade your weapon in Mark 1 and Mark 2. So remember, different level weapons give you different parts. So a purple one is going to give you something a little bit different than a green or a blue or a gray. Each one gives you a different part. Now you use these to level up your Mark 1 and Mark 2. So if we go to right here, I have a blue pistol that I don't need, right? Because I have a purple one. If I dismantle this blue pistol, this one should give me an advanced part. Well, we'll check right now. An advanced weapon part. So blue will give you an advanced weapon part. And let's go into my regular rifles because I have more in there. So we dismantled a blue one, a purple one. Let's dismantle this purple one right here. It's going to give us a high-end weapon part. I'm not going to dismantle this gold one. You're out of your mind. So we're not touching that one. I think I should have a gray one maybe. I know gray is standard. And then I think green is advanced. But let's head over to my gear because those drop the same type of items but for clothing. So let's head over there. So if we dismantle a gray item right here, this should be standard. So I was right. You got a standard gear part, right? And then if we go into green, I should have a green one. I think that's the only one I haven't dismantled for you guys. And green gives us an improved gear part. So you get an improved weapon part. So standard and improved, the same thing you would get from your gear pieces, you get on your weapon pieces. Now this is important because you use these pieces to level up your weapons. And the higher level your weapon is, so say if it's a purple item, it's going to require different items than a green item to level up in Mark 1. So that's something you should always keep in mind and always be deconstructing these items as much as possible. The 9th tip I'm going to give you is on faction missions and the battle rewards. Remember, battle rewards, they reset. I believe it's every 60 days. Battle rewards will reset, so that's something you should always pay attention to. There are over 50 different rewards you can get, from weapons to blueprints to battle crates to emotes to gear items to weapon skins. So that is something, if you really want to grind for these. Now these do require battle points, and you can get battle points by doing faction missions. Some faction missions give you up to 100 battle points, some will give you 50, and then some will give you only 15. So depending on the faction missions you do will be depending on how much battle points you get, and of course that will continue to level you up through the tier system. And my final tip before I send you off into Ghost Recon Breakpoint is, if you can't find an item, a gear item, or a weapon item, remember Maria's shop usually resets every hour. Yes, every hour her shop will reset at the moment. Now they might change this, but sometimes you might not see the sniper rifle you want. Look, 1 hour the TAC 50 wasn't there, and now it is. So if you're ever looking for a different vanity item, a different gear piece, a different weapon, just keep checking the item shop, and remember you have access to this item shop from your bivouac. So just keep that in mind. I hope this video helps you guys out. Remember, if you guys enjoy these videos, if you guys like this video and want to see more videos like this, leave a thumbs up. Let me know in the comment section if you have any questions. I appreciate the support. But until the next Ghost Recon Breakpoint video, nothing but skills out.